Okay, welcome back. What we're going to be doing this time is working with the move and rotate tool to be able to put this vase back together. And again, if you do not see this vase, that's probably because you're on the wrong layer. So if you were in the move tool, turn this V off by just clicking on the V. It'll make that go away, and we'll turn on the visibility for this next layer. And now you should see this. If you're seeing something like this for the modeling toolkit or attribute editor, make sure you just click over here to have that showing up. And again, easy way is just to make sure you're under My Classic. So that should be this user interface right here. So I have a vase that looks like it broke in 3 different parts. I have a vase bottom, a vase mid, and a vase top. If I were to use the move tool, you'll notice something peculiar is going on. My move tool is above the object in most cases. It's actually not in the middle of these objects. So that's a little bit strange. But that is actually done on purpose so we can kind of get used to the rotate tool. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this is something that you should be doing as well, is let's try and get this bottom piece in an area where we can kind of use it to guide ourselves with the rest of these. So I'm going to actually hold down the X key, and you'll notice that turns into a little circle, and you'll notice when you hold down the X key, this shows up. It looks like a hashtag with a magnet on it. That is our grid snap. So if we hold that out down, and then on our X axis we can move that. So I'm holding down the X key and the left mouse button dragging that to the middle. Now I have this right here. And now I can start to go maybe with this piece right here. Now, here's a little cheat on this one. This is the pivot point on the bottom. Each of these are actually having a bottom pivot point in the same spot, the axis of our grid. So that should help us for when we're working with it. I'm actually going to go ahead and hold down the X key again and snap that there. Now it disappeared. It's underneath. That's okay. I just rolled under to make sure that's there. So I'm going to use a different tool. We haven't covered this yet. If we press the E key, that's our rotate tool. And again, you're going to notice that there's some different things on here. We have a bluish white circle, a yellow, blue, and green. So that's basically representing X, Y, and Z as well. I'm going to use this one right here, the outer one, and that's going to basically giving me a axis that's not determined just on one axis. It's whatever the viewport is. So if I move around that, you'll notice that the yellow and the red ones are moving along with the green, but this other one stays the same. So if I were to move that, it's going to rotate based on my viewport's rotation there. So I'm going to use that as an advantage. I'm going to move that up. I'm going to move this over. And now I'm just going to try and see if I can line this up to see where these cracks are. Looks like that's not so good. There, oh, that looks pretty good there, but it's still got some issues. You can see some little gaps on there. Well, that's okay, because there's an easy way that we can align this. Now you'll notice over here in our channel box layer editor, we have translate, rotate, and scale. So let's see what happens if we know that the rotate was rotated pretty close to 180 degrees. Let's see if we zero these out. And by zeroing them out, I'm actually going to do a negative 180. Hit enter. I'm going to try 180 right here. And 180 right here. Okay. That actually worked out really well. So basically what this did is it zeroed out the coordinates, and it now matches with this other one. So don't be afraid to try to zero things out or adjust things, not just by hand, but by value over here. I know that that could be intimidating sometimes because there's a lot of different values you can tweak, but sometimes it is a good idea to use these. Now, I'm terrible at math, but I think the important thing to know if you're going to be a 3D artist are essentially 90 degrees, 45 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees. So those are going to be very, very important rotational numbers that you'll need to know. And those basically can get you from 0 all the way to 360 degrees back very quickly when you're modeling. So obviously those are very basic mathematics right there, but for what you'll be seeing in future classes, those will be definitely values that you'll be using for a lot of your rigging, which is putting bones in characters, or for modeling when you're actually rotating objects around one another. So let's just do this one again. I'm going to actually do that snap again. So holding down X, I'm going to snap. So by going into this middle section, I'm actually not going to just go by one pivot point, or sorry, not one pivot point, but one translation. I'm going to go on all of these by doing that middle one. I'm going to snap that to that grid. There we go. So it doesn't want to snap if you have the circle, so we're just going to snap this independently on each axis first. So there's that, there's this. Snap it down, snap it over. So now we're on that one right there. That's good. Now, let's see what happens if I try to line this up. I'm not going to zero that out to one, or not zero it out, but put it to 180 yet. I'm going to see if I can get this to match up a little bit better first. And that may not be 180 that we need. This may actually be 0. Let's see what happens. Is that? Nope, that's not good. Let's see. There we go. So let's see. Let's zero this one out for sure. We're going to zero that one out. And again, I'm terrible at math, but I know 360 degrees is the same thing as 0. So if we zero that one out, all right. We fix the vase. So that's using the move tool and the rotation tool. Let's turn that one off. And oh, what's that called? Do you want to build a snowman?